Hi everyone, I'm Rachel. Welcome back to my channel, 100 Pounds of Gratitude, where I'm striving to live every day where I gain gratitude and lose weight. Today, I'm going to give you my week 9 weigh-in update. Okay, so I thought I would bring you with me on my walk today. I'm going ahead and getting my step count up. I'm doing my 30-minute walk like I have been doing, but I'm also making sure that I'm moving throughout the day and getting my 10,000 steps in, because that's my new goal. Sometimes that means that I do some pacing, but also I think it really just reminds me that just get up and move. And I love having my Fitbit because it vibrates when you haven't done enough steps in an hour, and it's just a good gentle reminder like, hey, get up, move a little bit, take a couple steps, go change out the laundry or whatever chores that you need to get done. Just go do something, move a little, get that step count up. So, all right, let's review my goals from week 9 and I'll let you know how I did. Okay, so my water goal was good. I had one day where I wasn't drinking enough water and I really started to feel it. And so I just reflected back on my chart and was like, oh, yeah, I need to make sure I'm drinking plenty of water. My walking, that's one that I really enjoy, not just for my body, but for my mind. And I'm so fortunate that I do live in a place where it's just the weather is really beautiful right now. And so I'm able to get outside and refresh my body and my mind. And I just want to say that when I started walking back in September, my knee hurt so badly. I was having to walk, really, really slowly. I could barely walk. I could not walk up my stairs in the house. And that was one of the things that I was like, I cannot live like this. This is not a life that I want to live. So just to see the difference that 8 weeks of intentional tracking, like marking down, yes, I have walked today, like has made a tremendous difference for my life. I want to have a life where I can play with my children, and I want to have a life where I can walk easily, lots of steps. So I'm very thankful that I'm tracking my walking, because I know what it's like to not be able to walk very well. Anyway, moving on. My next thing, the 21-day fix, I did pretty well on. I think I missed it once this week. And then my stretching, I see the benefit of stretching now. I've been doing it long enough where I just do a 5-minute stretch kind of at the end of the day. And it really helps with the pain that I was having in the arches of my feet. Doing a calf stretch at the end of the day really has helped loosen my calves. And then for whatever reason, that's made my feet feel better. So yay for stretching. And I'm not doing like a real complex stretching routine. I'm talking just a simple stretching routine at the end of the day. So, let's see. Okay, so my big change this week was doing intentional desserts, because I knew it was going to be a busy holiday week. In our family, we have a birthday this week of Christmas, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, all the things. And I want a sustainable life, something that I can eat the foods that I love and I can celebrate with my family and friends, but keeps like in line with the goals that I'm trying to create for my health and my life. So what's the point in eating all the foods and enjoying all these foods if you do it in a way that is detrimental to your overall goals? So anyway, with that in mind, I decided to make a goal of just having intentional desserts. So for me, that meant when we had the birthday, when we had the Christmas Eve, when we had the Christmas Day, I intentionally made my plate and thought it through. I sat down at the table and I enjoyed my food and I enjoyed my family. And I didn't snack in between, and I didn't mindlessly have bits and bites of everything. I just chose what I wanted to try. And yes, it was a carb-heavy meal. And yes, I really enjoyed it. And you know what else? If there was something that I was like, man, I chose a roll, but I really prefer this hash brown casserole, then I just didn't do the roll. And I got a little bit more of the hash brown casserole. And I enjoyed that. And then with the desserts, I would take my dessert, I'd put it on a plate, I sat at the table, and I ate it with a fork. Even my fudge, I ate my fudge with a fork at the table. So that worked really well for me just because it was very mindful and I was in control of that, and I was choosing foods that I enjoyed, and it was very freeing. So I feel like I was successful in that. And then my other thing that I incorporated, or I'm trying to incorporate, is journaling daily. And I do well with my 1 line a day journal because I'm chronicling, because I use it to document what's happening with my family and my kids. But I'm not doing super great with just my personal journaling that has to do with me and making myself a priority and things that I'm learning, memory verses that I'm trying to memorize. I'm not doing such an awesome job of doing that deliberately every day. So I think my accountability chart for myself is really great at that, because it's like at the end of the day, you check it. Yes, you did, or no, you didn't. And then at the end of the week, I look back on my chart and I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't do very good with that journaling goal. Maybe I need to make that more of an intentional goal for myself and recognize that's an area I can improve upon. So there we go. That's what it is. Next week, for week 10, the holidays are over. I mean, we'll do something for New Year's Eve, but I'm going to keep for that one day just to do my intentional eating. Yes, I will do some celebratory foods and some fun foods, but I will do it very intentionally. And then up to that, I'll just get back on track with all of my fasting, and which my fasting was great last week. I didn't have any problems with that. So I'll just get back on track with just my normal life and eating more in line with like healthy foods that I'm trying to work into my everyday life and just making a habit. So that's it for my goals for next week. Just back on track. Okay, so that brings me to my weight loss this week. And my main goal was to hold the line. And I did it. I did go up 0.2. So I went from 225.3 to this week at the end of week 9, 225.5. And I'm super happy with that. I think that's perfectly aligned with what I'm trying to establish for my life, just to enjoy the holidays and hold the line. I do want to show y'all how I am going to incorporate the portion control containers. I had someone ask about the portion control containers and how this works, so I thought I'd do a quick overview of how I'm doing that. So I am going to go over the 21-day fixed portion control, just the basic containers, and how I calculate how many containers I eat in one day. Okay, so here are the different containers that come in your kit, and you actually get these stickers to put on them, but I didn't really feel like I needed the stickers so much. However, I did take an erasable marker and I do mark on them how many of each I'm supposed to have. Here's how the containers are broken up. The red is for proteins, the purple is for fruit, and the green is for vegetables. The yellow is carbs. The blue is for healthy fats. The orange is for seeds and dressings. And then also you can use a teaspoon that you'll use for like your oils and nut butters and things of that nature. The teaspoon doesn't come with it, so you just grab a teaspoon from your kitchen. And so that's how this works. And so throughout your day, you're going to have these different food groupings that you're going to incorporate. And then based on your weight, you will figure out how many containers from each group you'll eat. So the chart breaks it down. Over here you have all the containers and your teaspoon. And then depending on your weight and your calculation, you would pick which category you're in. So for me, I ended up being this one when I first began. But now I'm over here. So I do 6 containers of vegetables, 4 of fruit, 6 protein, 4 carbs, 1 of the healthy fats, 1 of the seeds and dressing, and then 6 of the teaspoons. So as your weight goes down, you would just shift until you are in a category where your weight is where you want, and then you would just stay in that category, if that makes sense. To calculate your calorie target, you put your weight in here and you multiply that by 11. Then you add your 450 calories because you're going to do a workout. So with this one, I was doing the 21-day fixed real time. And so I add that calorie burn in of 450, and then that gives me what my calorie needs are. Okay, then the last step is you take your calorie needs and you subtract 750, and then that gives you your calorie target. So, and then it tells you to do this modification if you are below the 1200 or if you're higher than 2800, you estimate and round in. I like that it gives you this calorie boundary. So you're not aiming, where you need 2,139 calories. You're just hitting this range. And if you hit this range and you balance out and diversify what you're putting into your body and it's healthy foods, and you're staying within this boundary, and then you're doing some exercise, some movement, you're gonna see some progress. Also, another cool thing about these containers is that they are stackable, so they fit really nicely within one another, and so it's really easy to store them. And I have like a drawer where I store this, and I store my little books and the recipes, some of the recipes that they offer. I'm putting that, and then I'm trying to create a binder for myself so that as I come across a recipe that I enjoy, and especially if it's one that my family enjoys, that I have it put aside so that I can utilize that. I think with anything, it doesn't really matter which dieting tool you use, as long as you stick to it consistently, that seems to be the key thing. So for me, it needs to be convenient and easily accessible and kind of simple. Otherwise, I'm not going to stick with it. The first time I followed this, and I followed it the way that it was made, and I ate my containers and I had the healthy meals and I did the 30-minute workout, then I lost 7 pounds in 3 weeks. It works when you do it. The other thing that I think is important to note is that with me right now, I am not doing snacking in between meals. I'm just doing my 3 intentional meals a day. So I may not hit like all of my containers, but that's okay. If I don't hit all my containers, the important thing is that I don't just only eat red or purple or green, that I make sure that I have a little bit from all of the containers, because I'm trying to create a well-rounded lifestyle for myself and get the nutrients from all the different food categories in there. So that's how I manage that. The other thing that I would say is that you need to make sure you read through some of the food lists, because for my mind, sometimes I think, oh yeah, avocado, that's like a fruit, but no, that's a healthy fat. Or cashews or nuts or something like that. Oh, that's like a protein, but for this, no, that's considered a different category. So making sure that you take the time to read through the food lists so that you are balancing out and you're making those choices. And I think that is really key for this program to work successfully, is that it's just a boundary, but you are making choices. You can't eat as much avocado as you want. You can't eat as much salad as you want. Like, you have to find some balance in all of the different categories. If you have more questions about how this works, or what I eat in a day or a week, or how I plan for this, let me know in the comments, and I can give you more detailed guidance on how I do this and how it has worked for me. So that pretty much wraps up my report for the end of week 9. I hope everybody had a really Merry Christmas, and that you're going to have a very happy new year, and that maybe you're taking some time for yourself this week to reflect on 2020 and what you want your 2021 to look like in the life you want to build. I know that is what I will be doing these last few days of 2020, and I just want to move forward and have a new beginning and build a life that I love, which includes being able to move my body and interact with my kids, and when the world opens up again, travel and see things and walk the thousands of steps at Disneyland and Disney World. So yeah, I'm preparing for that now. All right, I'll see y'all next week at the end of week 10. Bye.